that encounter some of the worst employees that needed to be put in their place.
Nevertheless, you're not my employee.
Watch till the end to see how these bosses deal with these bratty employees. Let us now follow our next boss, the president and CEO of Buffalo Wings and Rings, Nadir Masada.
I am Nadir Masada. I'm the president and CEO of Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Headquartered in Cincinnati, Ohio, Buffalo Wings and Rings is one of the fastest growing restaurant chains in the world, with 65 locations around the world and employing more than 5,000 people. This fast growing restaurant has reached $100 million in revenue, and he's gonna go undercover to see how things are run in the restaurants to check on what needs to be improved. He'll be going undercover as Pete, an immigrant from Lebanon, and his employees will be told that he's a contestant on a reality show, competing to win $200,000 to get a Buffalo Wings and Rings franchise.
My employees will think I'm a contestant on a reality show competing to win $200,000 to put towards franchising my hamburger restaurant.
For his first job, he travels to Cincinnati, which is the birthplace of Buffalo Wings and Rings, and we see that he's become a dishwasher, which he hasn't done in years, but he's still moderately confident that he can pull it off. He meets up with Dave, who works as both a dishwasher and a marketing ambassador for the restaurant, and Dave first shows him how to clean the dishes properly, then Nadir tries to do it, and Nadir was pretty good following the instructions, but he was too slow and couldn't keep up with the speed needed.
Pete, he's a little slow. Yeah, we got more coming, don't worry.
And this creates a shortage of dishes in the kitchen, so Dave had to be the one to finish the job. They then go to a local gym to promote their products, and Nadir wears the restaurant's mascot, Chief Buffalo, and he's glad that the restaurant is using the mascot since it's his creation, and he really has fun with it. The next day, he travels to Chicago, Illinois to work as a server. He meets up with Amber and they get right into the job, and it was the lunchtime, so the workload is pretty high, and Nadir tried to help out Amber, who's great at her job, but he sees that she's taking care of too many tables. Amber tells him that in other restaurants, one person doesn't take more than 5 tables, but there, they take about 9 to 11 tables.
Typically, the maximum amount of tables you're gonna have is 5, but then I came here where you have a 9-table section,
which is really overwhelming for the waiters and the customers because they don't have the great experience. After lunch, they go out for delivery on their way. The next day, Nadir travels to Bradstown, Kentucky to work in the kitchen, and he meets up with Wes, who's a tough boss and also likes to use vulgar language. Wes first takes him to the cooking station and shows him how to cook the chicken, but he was not good at explaining things, so Nadir struggles to keep up. This makes Wes pretty mad and he starts insulting Nadir, calling him a virgin multiple times.
Time you drop an order and you're done?
Yeah.
Do what you could never do on prom night. Tap it twice.
The general manager, Red, was watching everything and she tells Wes to tone it down, but he ignores her and Nadir is left to do the next order by himself, which was something he couldn't do properly, so he gets more insults from Wes.
Give me the...
I'm sorry.
Here, back up.
Okay.
I'm taking over. As he stands right now, I would never leave Pete in charge.
But Nadir wanted to keep his cool as he wanted to see if Wes was just that way with him, but he keeps seeing Wes insulting other young employees as well.
If I see somebody take my towel, I'm gonna kick you straight in your little baby nuts.
Nadir then talks to the employees and they inform him that Wes is kind of always like that. Nadir gets really pissed, so he asks Red to talk to him outside and then reveals his true identity to her and asks her why she doesn't do anything about Wes. She explains to him that she doesn't really have the power to fire Wes and that she's trying to tell the franchise owner, but the owner doesn't really visit the store much, so he hasn't been able to see Wes's awful behavior. Nadir believes that things need to be done right, so he ends his undercover time soon and returns to headquarters, and then invites all his employees to reveal his true identity.
I'm not Pete.
Clearly, yeah.
My name is Nadir Masada, and I'm the president and CEO of Buffalo Wings and Rings.
First in was Wes, and Nadir confronts him about his awful behavior, but Wes actually argues back, saying that his management policy is good because it's been working so far. We then see Nadir inviting in the franchise owner. Sean has now learned about Wes's behavior from both Red and Nadir, and he's really disappointed by the way Wes was acting. Nadir then asks him for his final decision, and Sean decides to fire Wes, which only comes to the shock of Wes.
I'm not gonna change me. I am who I am. Sorry, I'm such a scary monster.
Next in was Dave, and Nadir compliments his work ethic and offers him a full-time job in the restaurant so he can earn more money, and on top of that gives him $20,000.
My mom always tells me that you need to find a job that you like, and I've already accomplished that, and it's actually paying off now.
Last in was Amber, and Nadir tells her that she's a great employee and thanks her for being honest with him about the management issue, and he promises to fix the issues and rewards her $25,000 to put toward her college, and on top of that, he gives her a brand new car.
I could influence someone to want to help more people in the future, just like he helped me. That's amazing.
As they go undercover and discover managers who treat their subordinates horribly.
How many hours do you have right now? So if you go on overtime, I can take you outside and beat you up, right?
I'm Rick Silva, President and CEO of Checkers and Rallies.
Headquartered in Tampa, Florida, Checkers and Rallies restaurant are located in 30 states and serve 2.2 million burgers a week. With 20,000 employees under them and earning $680 million a year in annual revenue, Checkers and Rallies is the world's largest drive-thru restaurant chain. He'll be going undercover as Alex, a failed pharmacy owner from Philadelphia, looking for a new opportunity in the restaurant business.
While undercover, I'll be posing as Alex Garcia, a failed pharmacy owner from Philadelphia.
For his first job, he travels to Homestead, Florida to work in the grill and fry station.
I'm here in Homestead, Florida. I'm going to spend the day with a team member in a restaurant.
He meets up with Todd, who takes him to the kitchen and shows him how to cook the beef patty. Rick was not really a good cook, and he really struggles to follow instructions properly, and he overcooks the patty. They then go to the fry station, and Rick sees the restaurant is not following the company's guidelines.
I was surprised that Todd wasn't properly trained. That position is absolutely critical, so I'm a little worried.
And Todd then shows him how to use the fryer. Rick then sees Todd is really passionate about cooking and he's really impressed by him. But the restaurant manager, Stevens, is not really happy with them and he starts yelling at Todd to speed it up. Things get worse as time goes on, and Stevens gets more and more annoying. He keeps insulting all the employees and even threatens to fight them.
How many hours do you have right now? So if you go on overtime, I can take you outside and beat you up, right?
Rick and Todd then go out to take the trash, and Rick asks if Stevens is always like this, and Todd responds by saying yes, and says that he tries to ignore all the insults, and this is unacceptable to Rick, and he asks Todd why he would work in this kind of environment for this kind of boss, and Todd then breaks down crying, and says that he needs the job to support his family, so he'd rather take the insults instead of being jobless. Rick then confronts him and tells him that he will talk to Stevens, and they go back inside, and Rick calls Stevens to talk to him in the back. Rick confronts Stevens about the way he treats his employees, but Stevens defends himself by saying that this is how he keeps his employees in line, and he then says that if Rick can't handle the restaurant business, maybe he should leave. This really pisses off Rick, and he reveals his true identity to him.
I have been in the restaurant business for over 20 years, and I've been in the fast food business for over 20 years. I'm CEO for this company.
And he tells him that he's not qualified to be a manager and orders the shutdown of the restaurant immediately. Seeing this, Stevens tries to change his argument and starts making excuses, but this doesn't really work. And Rick then reveals his identity to the rest of the employees and apologizes for the way that they were treated, and he then tells them that they will get a new manager in the morning and sends them all home. The next day, Rick travels to Carroll City, Florida to work in the night shift, and he meets up with Joyce and she first teaches him how to work in the ordering window, and Rick then takes the lead, but he really struggles to use the computer system and takes a long time.
His first customer, he was like so rigid. If I was a glass of milk in his hands, I would probably be a milkshake after he was done.
Next, she teaches him how to work in the drive-thru, and Rick sees their communication system is very old and doesn't work properly, which is really hurting efficiency, and this is when he tries to use it. He couldn't even properly hear customers and struggles to take the orders. Throughout the day of working with Joyce, Rick has seen that she's a great manager, so he asks her what she thinks needs improving, and she tells him that the standardized menu is hurting restaurants, since in different states, people prefer different kinds of food, and she also tells him the marketing has not been great, and tells him some of her ideas.
And we spend a lot of money on focus groups, but maybe I'm not using an asset, a talent that we have in the organization, and I think we can capitalize on that.
For his last job, Rick travels to Mobile, Alabama to work on the sandwich board station, and he meets up with Joanna, and she first teaches him how to make a burger. Joanna is very efficient and customer-oriented, and she wears headphones to listen to customers' orders, and starts making the food even before the order officially reaches the kitchen. Rick was quite impressed by her, and he appreciates her taking initiative. He then works on a burger, but he was very bad, and Joanna doesn't give up on him.
Down and across. Ketchup. Tureen. Pickles. 1, 2. Spaced out. 1 onion.
And makes him do it again and again until he gets it right. Rick's undercover time finally comes to an end, and he invites his employees to a restaurant to reveal his true identity.
I'm Rick Silva, CEO of Checkers and Rallies.
First in was Joanna, and he tells her that she was a great employee and offers her a trainee management position, which comes with a 25% raise. He then gives her $20,000 to cover her expenses and pay for a new car.
As a good employee, and he is rewarding me for it. $20,000 in a management position with a higher pay.
Next in was Joyce, and he tells her that her energy during the night shift was amazing, and he tells her that the old communication systems will be replaced immediately, and he then reveals to her that he's created a general manager council where managers from different restaurants can share their ideas to executives so they could improve the business. He then gives her $10,000 to pay off her debts and another $10,000 just for her.
And I'm proud. I'm just proud. It's an honor. It's an honor.
Last in was Todd, and he tells him that he was sad with the way that he was treated and thanks him for speaking up. And he then tells him that he's starting a training program for all employees, so this kind of thing doesn't happen again like it did with Stevens. And he then offers to pay for his college tuition, and on top of that he gives him $15,000 to cover for his expenses.
I'm gonna stand up for what I believe in. It's my time to shine.
We will first look at the founder and CEO of Retro Fitness, Eric Casaburi.
I'm Eric Casaburi. I'm the founder and CEO of Retro Fitness.
Headquartered in New Jersey, Retro Fitness provides gym memberships for more than 300,000 customers, scoring revenues of more than $100 million a year in the process. Eric started Retro Fitness because he saw a hole in the market, and he was a gym operator and saw the opportunity to bring high-quality fitness experience with a good price. Retro Fitness offers a personal trainer, a movie theater, tanning and juice bar, and all of this for only $20 a month. This business model made the company instantly grow, and now they have over 90 gyms across the country. Continued to work hard after that, and now he has created one of the fastest growing businesses in the world. He's also a tough boss and expects very dedicated employees to work for him, and he also wants employees that love their jobs and that are not just there for the money. Eric wants to go undercover because they're growing really fast, and he wants to see if there's anything that he can improve on. He'll be going undercover as Barry, a contestant on a reality show, competing to win his own gym.
Got this great disguise. I transformed into Barry Ghosh, a down-on-his-luck guy competing on a reality show to win his own gym.
For his first job, he travels to Easton, Pennsylvania to work in sales. He meets up with Megan, and she tells him about the gym offers and also how to talk to the customers. She then gives him the microphone and tells him what to say, and Eric notices that Megan's not using the company script, so he actually convinces her to use the line on the script rather than her own lines. He then makes the announcement and really impresses Megan.
Gosh, you're a pro already. Why am I teaching you?
This is great.
Eric is really good at sales, so this was really a hard job for him. They then work on giving a tour to a potential customer, and Eric watches as Megan tries to sell membership. Even though Megan was really good at her job, Eric knew better ways to sell and to interact with customers, so he jumps in the conversation and actually sells the product, which annoys Megan as he was just supposed to look and learn. The next day, Eric travels to Fair Lawn, New Jersey to work as a front desk associate. He meets up with Jacqueline, and as soon as they met, she tells him her job is not really important and that she just sits around and plays with her phone.
I find myself over here, like this, taking pictures of myself. You can run your gym the way you want it to run.
Eric then tries to give her a scenario in which a customer might not approach her, thinking that she might be busy, but she answers back by saying that the customers here are awful and that she sometimes wants to punch them in the face.
Not a slave. I don't work for you. I don't know what to do. With some people, I just want to punch them in the face sometimes.
Oh, I did that.
She doesn't stop there, as she then tells him that the customers are stupid and uses vulgar language which other customers can clearly hear.
They don't know how to use a machine, so they're over here looking like doing the machine. And then they come up here and they're like, well, what does protein do? Dude.
Eric couldn't believe what he was hearing, but he tries to keep his cool and continues. She then shows him how to make the shakes, but she doesn't follow the ingredients, and when Eric tries to do it the right way, she starts to insult him and calls him brain dead.
Brain dead if you can't get it. So if you look at that and can't understand it, then you should probably turn around and not do this.
Eric still maintains his cool and laughs off the insults, but one customer who had been listening to the insults jumps in and tries to defend him, but she really didn't care and even threatens to fire Eric. She then gets into another argument with the customer and starts insulting him as well.
No, you have to pay today. Hello, no, listen. How many times do I have to tell you? Don't with me, dude.
Eric, seeing this, was very angry but doesn't want to blow his cover, so he leaves the gym and calls the franchise owner to talk about his experience. The next day, he travels to Yonkers, New Jersey to work under the manager, and he meets up with Yvette. She first gives him a tour, and Eric notices how Yvette keeps the gym clean. She's passionate about her work and does her job very well, but Eric finds one thing that he doesn't like, and it's the way that she cleans, as it's not really cost effective. Later, Eric learns that Yvette has been having issues with the billing company, and that the issue had not been fixed. He also learns that Yvette's mother is suffering from a disease, and he comforts her. Eric's undercover time comes to an end, and he invites his employees to his office to reveal his true identity. First in was Jacqueline, and Eric didn't waste time to confront her about her behavior toward him and the paying customers. But Jacqueline didn't back down and defends her behavior, which gets him angrier, and things get really heated between them, and Eric then invites in the franchise owner, and she realizes that she might get fired, so she uses the oldest trick in the book and starts crying. She also tries to lie and deny everything.
And do you ever see that? Do you ever see me do that? No, because I don't do that.
You did it in front of the CEO.
But I didn't know it was him, obviously.
But this didn't really do anything for her, as she's promptly fired by the owner.
Show it in any way more than I have. And yeah, maybe I dropped. Sorry. God bit me, seriously. Like I can't even deal.
Next in was Yvette, and their interaction goes much smoother. Eric tells her that he had a great experience with her and tells her that the billing issue had been fixed. He then offers to pay for her trip to see her mom and gives her $10,000 so she can have a vacation with her fiancé. And on top of that, he gives her $30,000 to help with their expenses.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Like, a lot of people don't know that hard work actually pays off. And
last in was Megan, and he tells her that he loved her energy and then offers to put her in their promotional materials and gives her $15,000 so she can get her own place and another $40,000 to pay for her college. And on top of that, he gives her another $20,000 just for her to spend on what she needs.
I didn't feel like living anymore, and now I'm like